Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow with East West Show on G&E TV. While celebrating Christmas, which has just passed, we are anticipating a new year, a brand new year, 2015 to arrive. Just during the time interval, something very catastrophic happened. We heard about the Malaysian first missing, later found aircraft, right? Once again, to get to the point, I have to rely upon professionals. And you know, as we have been this year talking about air crash or air missing or air disasters for 3 times already. So you probably know my good friend, Mr. Bill Young. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Well, with a very heavy heart, I would like to introduce my good friend Bill Young, being a top senior engineer of Douglas Aviation Company, and also he has stayed in China as a top senior supervisor for the company for quite 25 something
23.
years. 23 years. Okay. He's the one that knows the machine that flies. I call it the machine that flies. Okay, now, with the news break just now that the wreckage and some bodies of victims were found a certain area of the Java Sea, right? So, Bill, it is very mystifying. It is very confusing. What do you think that would have happened to that poor airplane?
I figure the weather had a lot to do with it. Something failed, probably knocked the electricity out, which means that's when the electricity goes, radios go, so they couldn't call. Then the airplane crashed, which is very, very sad. But it crashed into the water, and it's not all that deep in that area, which is good. Means they'll be able to find things easier.
All right.
The thing is going to be trying to put it all back together, try to figure out exactly what happened. Whether it was lightning, whether it was just wind shear or something like that. We don't know at this time. But something caused that airplane to fall to the
Yeah, that's for sure, though. That's for sure. Only a while ago, it was yesterday, the news commentator says that weather was a factor, but the contributing factor, not a main factor. So now can we say the weather was a main factor?
I don't know that. Till we get the airplane back together, we're not going to know.
I see.
Because there's a number of things that can happen. There could have been internal failures that caused the loss of electricity. On that particular airplane, you lose electricity, you lose control of the airplane.
There's no backup power system?
There's backup power, but it says you lose all power. So the airplane goes black. Well, and that's when you lose flight controls.
All right.
Yeah,
what would cause the power to vanish?
Engines quit. Something interrupting the electricity, lightning. I don't know. The thing that I remember from what I've seen about this airplane, the airplane was nose up climbing, which means it may have stalled. If it stalls and falls, the engine will shut off.
All right. At a certain position?
No, it's the airflow. Instead of being done this way, it's across the front.
Oh, the down push.
Yes.
The down push. The down push of the airflow.
The airflow is going up across the front of the engine, cutting off the airflow to the engines. It's like you go through a door that has a big fan, pushes all the air, makes a curtain there. You have to step through that curtain. Warm air stays inside, cold air stays outside.
Oh, I see. I see.
Same principle works in the air. If the airplane's falling fast enough, the engine the air will be cut off from the engines, and they can't run.
So,
the engine shut down, you lose all electrical power.
I see.
And
how about batteries? Does it have a backup batteries?
Well, that's true. There is a backup battery, but how much that battery controls whether you've got enough power from the battery to run the radios, I do not know on that particular airplane. Some airplanes you do, some you do not.
I see. I know you're a Douglas guy. You might not get so familiar with the Airbus system, right?
I'm not
Which
that
which is British. But well, as guy in the aviation business for that many years that you do, of course you know more than I do, right? Okay, about the machine that flies, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they've got electrical battery backup, but there are times when you lose that. You lose battery power, the AC goes away because it's controlled by DC.
Oh, the A signals,
The AC signal.
the ACs.
AC signal. You've got two types of power. You've got DC, which is a flat line at a given level. You get AC, which is up and down.
I see.
The DC controls the AC. So you lose DC, you lose AC.
I see.
Now, why it lost DC, I do not know. I found one airplane one time that lost all power, but that was a failure of the battery charger. It was not a
Okay.
airplane, a real airplane problem.
I see. But for a plane that size, though, regardless of Airbus or a Boeing,
Or
so supposed to stand of all weather, right?
yes,
Right.
the weather should not have been a factor.
Yeah.
These airplanes are designed to take a pretty large force.
Then what would have caused the failure of the power?
But if you exceed that force, things start going wrong big time.
You mean still talking about the airflow,
Yes,
the turbulence?
turbulence. The airplane's designed up to about 6-8 Gs. But you go beyond that, go 10 G, things will break. Wings will come off, stuff like
1 G means 1 gravity, right?
Right.
1 gravity. 6 Gs means
that. 6 times that.
6 times of gravity.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And 4 to 6 Gs is where airplanes are designed.
I see.
But you get above 6 G, goes 7 or 8, maybe 10. Tornadoes, stuff like that can generate 10, almost 20 G.
Means that spinning the airplane or pushing it down.
The spinning force of that wind, if it hits the airplane the right way, can literally rip a wing off.
Ah, I see.
So you can get all sorts of damage.
All right. Okay. In other words, while an airplane designed to stand for 60 Gs,
Yes,
confronted with a force that goes above, that it push or spin the way the pressure
right,
push it.
right.
All right.
And
that could be only a factor?
That could be a factor. Until we get the fuselage area back and try to put it back together, we don't know what happened.
But is that predictable? I mean, when you are flying, though, you check about what's going on your route, right?
Right.
And when you see some storm there,
You try to avoid the storms,
you try to avoid, or you create a plan
to go around them.
to go around it, right?
There's radar on the airplane that will give you an idea how heavy the storm is too. Because it goes green, yellow, red, and then a purple. You don't want to go into the purple at all.
Oh, I see. You want to stay in the green.
So you would like to stay in the green. Yellow's okay, it's just a little bit rough. Red is danger.
All right.
Purple is deadly.
It's deadly. I see.
And
So-
thunderstorms can come up very quickly, can form very quickly.
And that is unpredictable?
It's unpredictable.
Unpredictable. Knowingly, if there is a piece of clouds that carries the thunderstorms
Right.
on my route,
I'm going to go around.
knowingly I can go
Around.
it, I can surpass it, right?
Right. And if you remember, the last message from the pilot was a request permission to turn and climb. He was given permission to turn, not climb.
Uh-huh. I see.
So we had so there was something in his way that he didn't want to go through.
I see.
Now
All
what,
right.
I don't know.
Sure. All right, to my audiences, today we have my good friend, Mr. Bill Young, to come here to talk about the Indonesian airline or aircraft that went missing, first missing, then later found wreckage and also the bodies of the victims. So let's take a short moment now. We'll find out what would have happened to that poor aircraft. And you know, that is 162 lives we're talking about. This is too much. So stay with us. We'll be right back.